Over the last week, I've spent 21 hours watching One Piece episodes and One Piece episodes alone. And I've been thinking about that, all the stuff I've done in my life, and how much time I've spent doing every single thing. I went on a website and I looked up exactly how many days I've been alive for. I was born December 23rd, 1997, and I have been alive for 9,440 days. Let me put it into the calculator. Yeah, I had the calculations all done up here, but yeah, 9,440 days times 24, we got 226,560 hours. And I wasted 21 of them watching One Piece for the second time, I may remind you. So that's technically 42 hours in my grand lifespan that I have spent watching One Piece. I've been thinking, is that a waste? I don't know. I did enjoy it. It was a fun time, but I could have done something better about it. I could have done something valuable. I could have made money. I could have put myself further in my career. I could have spent that time with friends or family or bettering myself, learning a language. Something I'm finding is there's a lot of hours in a life, but it's still never enough. And you can fight it as much as you want. You can keep going. You can keep trying as hard as you can every moment of every day to try and get what you want. But the odds of you ever finding satisfaction, especially in a short time frame, are low. You know, life is an adventure, and for most people, it's very long. For some people, it's short, and for me, I thought it was going to be short. But as I look out at the vast expanse of what I can possibly achieve with this weight loss journey, I could end up living to be 50 years old, doubling this amount of time. 226,560 hours becomes times 2, 453,120. And that's only if I live to 50. Most of the people in my family live to 65, sometimes 70. If I get healthy, I could live for a very long time. So maybe there's something to that. Taking your time with, everything you want to do. I mean, the weight loss journey has to get done. That's obviously the first thing to get out of the way. It takes priority. But there's a lot of other things I want to do. I've had a great life. The past 25 years have been a miracle, a beautiful, wondrous splendor of adventures and fun time with friends and family. And I wouldn't trade a second of it for anything in the world. And when I look out into the future, I know that there's going to be more times like that. I'm getting happier. I'm coming out of my shell again. I'm becoming myself again. And with that comes the desire to have those adventures again. I've been thinking about the things I've done and the things I haven't done. I've always wanted to go to another continent, you know? Probably Europe. I like it there. There's a lot of, great stuff, socialized medicine. We have that in Canada, but I don't know. I feel like they do it better over there. And they have Germany is a place I'd like to visit. Berlin, I think, is, one of the cities where it's like, they got a lot of art and stuff, and I'd like to go there. Experience, maybe some museums, maybe some of the some of the punk art. I hear there's a good punk scene there. Listen to some of the music's there. Might be interesting to hear music in another language. I know I've always enjoyed that, and I'd like to go to Spain. It's warm there. I've heard it's relaxing. I know some people who vacation in Spain quite a lot, and they seem to like it. Venice might be fun. I'm a big water guy, so going to Venice might be a really fun time. I looked into the prices of going on vacation to Venice, and I realized that if I spent my money smartly and I booked a cheap place to stay, I could go to Venice, spend a month there for $1,200, if I played my cards right. You know, so I thought that might be fun. Sometime in the future, I'd like to set foot on another continent. I know Cuba's on the same continent technically; it's an island, but geographically, geologically, it's on the same tectonic plate. Um, well, set of tectonic plates, but I'd like to go to Cuba. I had a friend who went to Cuba a while ago. He thought it was very cool, very fun, and Yeah. Thinking about the past, all the time, all the stuff I did in the past 25 years. I'm 25 years old, and what all have I done? You know? It's a beautiful tapestry of adventures. I met royalty. That was fun. Friends with her. Yeah, still have her on Instagram. Follow each other. I met Greg Doucette, YouTuber, big old famous YouTuber. Went to Florida and New York. Didn't live there though. It'd be nice to live maybe in Florida or California as a permanent residence. I'd like to, stay in Canada if I could. Maybe British Columbia would be good. They have good weather there. I'm a big fan of the weather there. It rains more than it snows, is the thing I've heard. Um, think about how many hours I spent playing Pokemon, doing assorted Pokemon stuff. Because, in my younger years, I was so obsessed with Pokemon, it was all I wanted to talk about. And, I collect Pokemon stuff still to this day. Even to this day, I'm playing the Pokemon games and I'm loving them and I'm enjoying it. And is that a waste of time? I could have spent that doing something to further my career or better myself, but no, I just spent that time enjoying it. And that's important too. You can't just work all the time. Sometimes stuff has to be fun. As long as you're still moving forward, you can have a little bit of fun. Think about how much time I spent with friends, in a way that's bettering yourself. You learn social skills from that. You make lifelong attachments and bonds with people. People that might help you in the future. Or you go out and you give yourself that little dopamine spike that you need to get yourself through the day when you walk into a room and all your friends smile at you and say, "Hey, dude, long time no see. We gotta hang out more." Yeah, you show up. It's beautiful times. Then you rock out. You have, oh, just party. Can't be too specific at what happens at parties, but you know, it's YouTube rules. How many hours have I spent editing videos? How many hours have I spent making videos, recording, coming up with ideas for videos? When I was on TikTok, I was doing 4 videos a day because I heard that's the magic number to grow. How many hours worth of videos exist on my TikTok? As I was doing that for 3 years. 3 years of 4 videos a day, all 1 minute long. I could probably do that. Hold on. All right. So we got 1 times 4. This is just 4, and then 4. All right. 4 times, yeah, 365 equals, and then times 3 is 4,380 minutes. All right. And divide that by, shit. Whoops. 433, 0. Divide, whoops. Okay. 433, 0. Divide by 60? Is that it? 72 hours of me yammering on about nonsense on TikTok. You spend your time doing a lot of stuff during your life. I've spent, I feel like I've spent my life well. I feel like I did everything that I wanted to do so far. I built a big YouTube audience. I graduated high school. I don't know. Went to. I said something that I don't really talk about anymore. But this is a fun time. Um, I don't know. Like, I was surrounded by friends for such a long time that it's hard to think of the past as something sad. There were dark moments, but those were fleeting and fast. You're in peril for 15, 20 minutes and then it turns around and it's bright skies and sunny days again. No matter how dark things get, they always turn around in 20 minutes, you know? Like, I just feel like I can't be sad for that long, you know? Even when something really bad happens, you know? My dog died last year, and I was sad. I screamed when she died. I couldn't mentally handle it. But after an hour, I got distracted by hamburgers. And then a few days went by, and her thought drifted from my head. And then weeks went by, and I got to a point where I don't think of her all that often. Same with my mom. That was harder. When she died, it was basically all I thought about uh, for years, probably. Not basically all, but like it was something I thought about a lot for years. I definitely didn't go more than a day without thinking of her. For a long time. But that's like par for the course. I mean, talk about someone who spent a lot of time with you. I saw that woman every single day for 19 years, and then she was gone, just vanished, nowhere. Like she doesn't even have a dead body anymore. She's cremated. She's gone. This woman who, took care of me. This woman who, you know, cared about me legitimately. Every day when I got home from school, she would ask me how how my day was. And she was gone. And like all things that hurt, that feeling of loss, that feeling of something that was important to you missing from your life, it fades. You don't notice it much anymore. Do people who lose a hand forget that they don't have a hand? That's something that's interesting. Because the hand is something you see every day too. Something that you couldn't live without. It's something that if you lost your hand, you'd lose your mind, right? That's just gone, right? But then you get used to it. You have the prosthetic on. I can only assume that there's hours when they're not thinking of it. They just go about their business, they do what they need to, and then 2 or 3 times a day they run into an inconvenience that's just, it would have been easier if they had a hand. But the hand's gone. I suppose you get to a point after a while. What about the people that are born with like missing legs and stuff? Do they like think about not having legs constantly? Do they like even recognize that there's a difference between them and the people that don't have legs? I mean, that do have legs? Do they like think like, hey, my life would be so much easier if I just had legs? Is that a thought that they have a lot? Do you think they think about it every day, or do they go multiple days without thinking of it? How much time do they spend thinking about it? How much time have I spent thinking about the past? Right? An hour and a half maybe in the past little while. I've been talking for 13 minutes, wasting 13 minutes of your life listening to my deep or not so deep. I don't know. Is this deep to you? Life is long for most people. And I didn't think it would be long for me. There was a lot of spots in my life where it really seemed like I was done for. And then I turned it around. I got through it. I survived. It was all fine. And now the obesity is going away, so I may just live to be 50. Double my time on this earth. What do I want to do in that time, huh? What am I gonna do? I'm gonna buy a house with a pool. I know that. I've been thinking about making a house that is a pool, right? Like all I need is a little space, to do my daily tasks. And I've always been a small area kind of guy, right? So I just build myself an apartment-sized house, that's like down here in the bottom left, and then all of this indoor water park. You know, looked up the price of what it costs to build a water park. $10 million. So I don't know. I gotta make $10 million before I can do that. But I don't know. I think I can pull it off. And it's not gonna be a big one. It's gonna be a pool, uh, a sprinkler park, a couple of water slides, maybe three if I'm really rich. But something small. I don't know. I think if I'm smart about it, I could probably build it for 7 million. But I got time, man. I got what feels like a lot of time. But it could be tomorrow. Could all be over tomorrow. We don't know. We never know. But it feels like there's a lot of time. Like I've always had this theory that when people are about to die, they would know that they're about to die. Like some kind of little twinge in their head goes off that says, "I'm close." And once in a while I get that twinge. I don't know if that's just anxiety, but it's just like a notification from the universe saying, "Hey, just to let you know, you're almost done." And then I step out of the way, or I punch a bear. That's an example. I haven't actually punched a bear, but there's the danger, and then you address it, and then it's like, oh, never mind, you're not almost done. You still got time. So I don't know if that twinge from the universe is just like my instincts or what, but sometimes it feels like you're almost done, and then it turns out it's not. And maybe someday I won't get a twinge, and then that bear will finally get me. And we never know when it's coming. Or maybe we do. Maybe it's the twinge that you can't address that finally gets you. I wish you luck. I hope you had a good hours up until now, and I hope you have a great hours from here on out. Go achieve your dream. You deserve it.